Somebody was asking me a question like, yo, we fuss and fight every single day. Is this a sign that my relationship is over? Like, I really want to make this make sense to a lot of people, because so many people have this misnomer that if we argue every day and we're at each other's throat, this means this is a sign that the relationship is done. Think about it. Many of you have brothers or sisters. How often do you guys argue? Let's really be honest. How often do you guys get mad at each other? Right? Now, you may go a couple days or whatever, however long you hold beef. You may not talk for a while. But does it mean that it's a toxic relationship, that it's not a good relationship? Now, I'm going to be honest with you. There's levels to this thing. Listen, there's levels to toxicity. Which one are you on?
Let you know, man, you are really encouraging me, motivating me, inspiring me. God is really using you to help me
What's
out.
going on, family? I want to welcome you to AOS, the podcast. I'm your host, Mr. AOS Inspires. This is what I need you to do. We're on every single platform: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. I need you to go and subscribe and follow us right now. We drop content every single day that'll help you with your life, because our mission here at AOS, the podcast, is to empower the world to never give up, one conversation at a time, one interview at a time, one video at a time, to help you live life at the next level. I want you to live life on the next level. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you that's watching this episode. This is going to be a dynamic episode. I need you to dive in. Do me a big favor. I need you to like, share, and comment. Don't be a stranger. Comment with us. And this is what I need you also to do. I need you to copy this link right here on this podcast, this episode, and share it with at least 10 of your friends. I promise you, it's going to help them out. Let's jump into the episode. What's going on, family? You guys are so amazing. I want to welcome you to another episode of AOS, the podcast. We standing on business today, shout it. We stand on business today. I'm excited about this episode because I want to help a lot of relationships and a lot of people that are in relationships, and you really feel, I want to break this thing down in layers. You feel like you're in a toxic relationship. Why? Because we argue every single day. We're at each other's throats every single day. It seems like if it's not one thing, it's another. And this is the crazy thing. A lot of y'all argue over petty stuff. Yeah. A lot of y'all argue about petty stuff that don't even really matter, right? But we're going to peel back all that today. So I had a question. Somebody asked the question, was like, yo, we argue every day. Does this mean that it's a sign that our relationship has run its course? No, I don't believe that. Before you guys get too deep into this episode, I'm going to drop it like that. I don't believe that just because you argue every day. Now, like I said, there's levels to this thing. I want to break this thing down. Just because you argue every day or all the time, does that mean that this is the end of the road of your relationship? No, absolutely not. I don't believe that. I believe that your relationship, right, if you argue every day, it all depends on, watch this, how you argue. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I listened to this couple, and they broke down something so dope. Like, they had safe words, right? So one of the layers to their arguments was they had safe words. Whenever the other person felt as if the other person was being too disrespectful, and they felt like they were on the verge. Now, this takes a lot of discipline, a lot of self-control to be able to implement this type of rule in your relationship, but they had it. When the other person felt like I was being disrespectful, or I felt like this argument is going too far, they have this cold word, and both parties, nobody got the last word. You just stop. It wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna get this. No, I'm not gonna get this last word. I'm done. Let's come back, right? I think that the reason many relationships feel as if that they're not going to work, because a lot of people don't know how to argue in a healthy manner. Let's really peel back that layer. Like, there's a healthy way to argue and there's an unhealthy way to argue. Now, let's clear this up. Let's move this smoke out the way. Any relationship that says that we do not argue, they're lying. Like, don't take no advice from that. I listened to this guy who was cracking a joke. He was like, yo, I tell everybody and I give everybody relationship advice. And dude was like, why do you give everybody relationship advice? He said, because I'm in a relationship. And like, so why are you giving advice? What qualifies you? Because he said, because I have advice and I ain't using it, so I'm gonna give it to somebody else. Like, that's real. Stop taking advice from people that's not bearing the fruit of what they're giving you. Like, that's a bar. Stop taking advice from people that's giving advice that doesn't bear any fruit. Right? But people that say, oh, you argue every day, you guys are at each other's throat all the time, you guys fuss, that does not mean, that's not a sign that you guys need to go your separate ways. It's not a sign. That's not a sign that y'all need to break up. That's not a sign to say, hey, this relationship is not working for me, I'm done, I don't want to talk to you anymore. No, that's not a sign. Now, as I said before, with the other couple, they have like code words. But what I want to tell you is, how do you argue? Like, do you argue? Now, but I'm going to be honest with you. This is the human nature. If your person says something that you feel like is hitting below the belt and it really hurts, 9 times out of 10, you're going to say something else, try to hit them below the belt and make them feel the same way that you feel. That's not a healthy way to argue. I get it. Trust me. Been there. Got the t-shirt to prove it and all that stuff. Right? Got the video, all that stuff. I got all the experience in the world about that. But that's not a healthy way to argue. Now, one thing in my relationship, or one thing that me and my wife do, is we may argue, we may disagree real hard, right, about something, but one thing that we share in common, we forget fast. Sometimes, like, you need to give your person, like, I need to give her space, right? I need to give her a little minute, but for the most part, I'm going to say that, for the most part, do we have a perfect relationship? Absolutely not. But for the most part, we forgive fast. Many of you, I'm going to tell you this is one of the biggest layers that many couples can't peel back because they hold grudges. I'm going to be honest with you. Do I get mad? Absolutely, but I don't believe in holding grudges. I can probably count on one hand how many times we got mad and we didn't talk to each other that night. Maybe the next day. We've never went 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. No, never. No, we've never done that. I don't believe we went a day. Right? We've been mad. We went to sleep mad. Right? And but I try not to make that a practice, right? My love language is physical touch. Her love language, one of her love languages, is physical touch as well, right? So I believe that we have an understanding that if we get into an argument at night, we're gonna hold each other. Well, I'm gonna hold her, right? That's not saying that. What's going on, family? I know that you're enjoying the episode, but I had to pause to ask you a quick question. Have you ever been through anything in life that was so life-altering that it changed your life forever? I mean, have you ever been and had a job and you lost that job? I mean, your dream job. You lost that job for whatever reason. Maybe you're an entrepreneur. You started a business and the business started off great and then it seemed as if it was going downhill. And now you're at a place, you lost your marriage, you lost your children, you lost some major things in your life. And now you're at a place in life where you're like, hey, this is the end of the road. I don't see it getting better. I got news for you. It will get better. And I wrote a book just for you. It's entitled Winning After a Major Loss. You need to go and get your copy. Go to barnesandnoble.com, go to amazon.com, get your copy right now. Winning After a Major Loss. I promise you, it's going to change the trajectory of your life. It's going to change your mindset. Most importantly, it's going to change your heart about your situation, because I promise you, you can win after a major loss. Go get your copy now. Barnes and Nobles, amazon.com. Order your copy now. Let's get back to the episode. Say, I forgive you, or I'm sorry, I apologize. No, I'm not saying that. However, many couples, they get into arguments, they don't forgive, and they hold a grudge. And what happens is it compounds. One thing about love, and I did an episode last week about this, one thing about real love is unconditional. Even though, and there's been times where she's been hot with me. I mean, hot, pissed off, but she still made some food for me. She still called me like, yo, I'm about to get something to eat. Are you hungry? Yo, I'm about to do this. And vice versa. That's one thing that no matter what, I'm always going to have your back, no matter what. And many relationships, many of y'all don't do that. Y'all don't, you have your person's back conditionally. Like, as long as I'm not pissed with you, I got your back. So the whole nutshell about this argument piece is that you're going to argue. And as I said before, run away from a couple that's trying to give you advice that say, "No, we won't never argue. I ain't never got mad with her." You lying. Either if you never got mad with her, either you guys don't spend that much time together, or you guys just, I don't know, just lie. You're lying, all right? But that's not a sign that the relationship is at an end, or the relationship is about to come to an end just because you argue all the time, right? Brothers and sisters argue, business partners argue. But the question becomes, do you guys have this foundation to say, listen, we may get here, but it is what it is. I'm going to look out for you. I got your best interest all the time, no matter if I'm happy with you or I'm pissed with you. I'm always going to have your back. You got to have that understanding. And the truth of the matter is, if you're with a person and you guys don't have that basic understanding, you need to get out that relationship. I'm just keeping it all the way funky with you. Because what happened is things happen in relationships. It compounds, right? It compounds, because people that don't forgive, they get mad about this, or they get mad about that. They get mad about this, and they allow the feelings to compound. And if I don't forgive you, once you do something minute, petty, it's going to bust the bubble. And all the things that I have not forgiven you for, this small incident that happened, it's going to trigger everything. And that's not where you want to be. So for all those that have the question, I'm gonna close it with this: is this a sign that we need to get out of the relationship? No, but I would suggest you need to build some type of foundation or understanding to say, listen, no matter what, I'm gonna hold you down. But we need to have a safe place where I don't care how I feel, I'm not going to say certain things. I'm not going to say certain things that I know that's going to trigger you off. And many of you ladies, I'm going to tell you, ladies, y'all good for that. Y'all would say things that would trigger that brother off, that'll make him feel like he want to hit you. I don't believe in hitting women, but there's some women that will push you to that point to make you say, I just want to knock your face off. Let's really be honest. If we can really be honest, that's a true statement. Fellas, a lot of you may not say things because generally that's a woman's trait. You may not say things, but you'll do a lot of petty stuff, right? That's what men do a lot of petty stuff. But you need to come to that understanding like, yo, I'm not going to do the petty stuff. Ladies, I'm not going to say the petty stuff. Why? Because at the end of the day, I love you. And if you love that person, you want to see that person thrive in all aspects of their life. I don't want to see you hurt. Why? Because I don't want to be hurt. And I think that if a lot of couples embrace that understanding, you'll see your relationship go to the next level. Real talk. Relationship is not just, oh, we go together or we married, I love you, you love me. Nah, relationship requires work every single day. And if forgiveness is not in the equation, you got to sprinkle that thing in the equation. If it's not in the equation, the relationship, I promise you it won't work. Because you consistently have to forgive your person. They consistently have to forgive you. Not saying they forget, not saying they erase it from their memory bank, but in a sense, they got to erase it from their memory bank. Because most people, when you hold on to old memories, and especially painful memories, a lot of people, it's hard for them to move forward. So I got to learn how to erase that and just keep on moving like it is what it is. Listen, just because y'all argue don't mean that the relationship is over. Second, think that thing. What's going on, family? I want to say thank you for rocking with us during this episode. We have been so excited to drop this episode. I'm glad that you made it to the end. This is what I want you to do. If you have any takeaways from this episode, leave it in the comments. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to hear how you feel. I want to bring content to you that's relevant to you, that'll help you change your life, because you already know our mission here at AOS Inspires, AOS the podcast, is to empower the world to never give up, one conversation at a time, one interview at a time, one video at a time, to help you live life at the next level. This is what I need you to do. I need you to like, subscribe, share this episode. If it spoke to your life, share this episode with somebody. Why? Because you are connected to some people that we're not connected with. And with that connection together, we can empower the world to never give up. I'm Mr. AOS Inspires. This is AOS the podcast. I can't wait to see you next week. Just in case you didn't know, we drop every single week, 3 times a week. Mondays, 8 a.m., Wednesdays, 8 a.m., and Fridays, 8 a.m. You need to catch an episode. Matter of fact, catch all 3 episodes. It's going to be fire. I promise you it's going to help you doing your everyday life. It's going to help you get to the next level. Let's go.